One of the greatest crises to grip this earth is the crisis of what they call mental health. 1 in 6 people are on antidepressant medication. 1 in 6 people. 1 in 6 young girls between the ages of 11 to 16 are practicing some form of self-harm. 1 in 3 elderly people above the age of 60, at least in this country, are facing a level of loneliness that makes them feel sick. We've all heard the terms depression, anxiety. How on earth did we get to a point where every family, everybody here knows somebody that is struggling mentally, that's feeling sick to their core, and they don't know the way out? The greatest mistake that was made by the psychologists and the people studying the human mind is that in about the 18th century, they decided there was no soul in the human being. The human being is just blood, flesh, and bones. When you remove the soul from the human being and you do not acknowledge the fact that Allah created the human being with this part, this central essence, what happens? You're feeling sad. Sadness is just hormones in your head. So if you want to treat your sadness, let me give you some tablets. We'll fix the chemicals. Sadness is chemicals. Anger is chemicals. It's all just a bunch of chemicals and hormones. And so the treatment becomes the same. What happens then? You have a whole race of people, tens and thousands of people, hooked on medication, hooked on therapy, never-ending issues, tortured mentally, and they think that the solution is to continue in this system that is rigged. Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, a scholar from the 8th century Hijri, in this book, Madarij al-Salikin, The Stations of the Seekers, this book is about the journey of the soul, and it is about realizing that you and me, we are a soul having a physical experience. We are not bodies. Our bodies don't belong to us. There will come a day when we will be removed from our bodies because we are the soul. That's who I really am. Before this world was created, before this universe came into existence, there was Alamul Arwah, the world of the souls. You did not have blood, you did not have flesh, you did not have eyes, you did not have ears, you did not have clothes, you did not have a job, you did not have a family. You only had one thing, you were a soul. And in this world, the universe of souls, there was nothing physical, only the souls. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the souls, قَالَ أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ, am I not your Lord? قَالُوا بَلَا شَهِدْنَا, they say, yes, absolutely, of course you are our Lord. This is where the journey really began. The journey, our journey, began when we were really born. Not born into this world, we were born as souls in the universe of souls, the realm of souls, before the heavens and the earth and all of this creation came into existence. That's where the journey began. And the journey will end when your soul will be taken out of your body and resurrected in front of Allah. The journey is the journey of a soul. The body is just one pit stop. 60 years on the journey, you have a body. After that, it's gone. The real journey is the journey of the soul. This book, Madarij al-Salikin, Bayna Manazili Iyaka Na'budu wa Iyaka Nasta'in, its central thesis, its introduction is the idea that Surah al-Fatiha, Surah al-Fatiha, the surah we recite every day, has the cure for all our problems. That is the argument that Ibn al-Qayyim makes. He says, you've got physical problems, you've got mental issues, you've got family issues, it doesn't matter. Surah al-Fatiha contains the cure. Believe it or not. If only you understood it well, and if only you were able to implement it in depth. How on earth is 7 verses going to fix the problems of humanity? You might ask and you might wonder. Ibn al-Qayyim starts by explaining that Surah al-Fatiha begins with 4 names of Allah. And he says that all the names of Allah can come under these 4. Who can tell me the 4 names of Allah in Surah al-Fatiha? So Allah, Ar-Rabb, Ar-Rahman, Al-Malik, or Al-Malik. These 4 names is a summary of who Allah is. And if you deeply internalize this in your life, these 4 names, it will erase and remove the vast majority of your issues in life. The first name, Allah, makes us realize that the only one we should be turning to and worshipping and devoting our time and attention to and looking to please is not people, it's not career progression, it's not this, it's not that, it's not money. It is the one who created and fashioned us and the one who will return to. Allah's name Ar-Rahman gives meaning to every difficulty you ever face in your life. Because you realize the one who put you in the difficulty, the one who gave you cancer, the one who gave you financial issue, the one who made you lose sleep, he loves you more than your mother loves you. It completely changes the meaning of the difficulty that you went through. Rabb reminds you that just as a farmer plants a seed and pours water on the seed, and the sunlight and the greenhouse nurtures the seed so that it grows to its full potential, Allah, every moment of your life, was looking after you and watching your back. Al-Malik or Al-Malik reminds you that no matter what you possess in this world, it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to Allah. These four names of Allah, if one truly internalizes them, Ibn al-Qayyim says, this will rid you and remove from you the vast majority of pain you feel in your life. The fact that you still feel the level of pain that you feel means you haven't internalized them yet. Go back to them and revisit them again. He then says, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ and إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. It is only you we worship and only you we ask for help. That this line summarizes the entire Quran. And this line is the statement that every prophet was sent to bring people towards and call them towards. He says that إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ and إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ removes all spiritual illnesses from your heart. Whether it's arrogance, whether it's envy, whether it's anger, whether it's ego. He said everything can be removed by internalizing إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. How is that possible? He says half of all the spiritual diseases that you can imagine, all the amradul qulub that you can imagine, can be removed by إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, by realizing it is only Allah that I worship, I devote my time to, I devote my attention to. Only He can reward me, only He can give me, only He can take from me. Because the vast majority of people put their trust and their hopes and their anger and their investment in people, in outcomes, in wealth, in things. But إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ means you're fully invested only in Allah and you're expecting everything only from Him and you see nothing but His actions, nothing else. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ removes from you the most dangerous of all diseases of the heart. Who can tell me what is the most dangerous, the most lethal of all the diseases of the heart? Ar-Riya is the desire to be seen by people instead of being seen by Allah. For me to stand up and pray, but to pray because I want Fulan to watch me pray. For me to give sadaqah because Fulan is watching me. For me to be addicted to the eyes of the people. This is the greatest of all diseases because this takes you. You are one step away from making these other people or these other things, you're making them equal to Allah. And that is the unforgivable sin. And you are on the edge at this point. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ fixes riya. It fixes this idea of needing the eyes of others, the attention, the validation of others, because you are trained and focused and thinking about only one thing. The one I devote myself to is the one who created and fashioned me. Only He can reward me and take from me. Someone else mentioned arrogance. This is the other most dangerous spiritual disease. Ibn al-Qayyim says there's the two most dangerous diseases is the desire to be seen by people and arrogance and pride. إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ rids you of arrogance and pride because you realize and you internalize no matter what happens, I'm dependent upon Allah. From the day that my nappies were being changed and I could not even do that myself, to the day I am old and I will need help to walk, I will always remain dependent in between. And that is what إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ means. Oh Allah, I will always need you. No matter who I am, where I am or what I am always and constantly in need of you. And Ibn al-Qayyim says if you only internalize this and if you only understood this, you would stop venting to people. يَسْتَخْفُونَ مِنَ النَّاسِ وَلَا يَسْتَخْفُونَ مِنَ اللَّهِ. They fear people and they don't fear Allah. إِنَّمَا أَشْكُو بَثِّي وَحُزْنِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. I only vent and complain of my distress to Allah. He says if you look back at the prophets before you, you will realize their strength did not come from bodybuilding. Their strength came from, I'll only complain to Allah. I only turn to Allah. I know I only need Allah. From the dua that Musa makes when he arrives in Madian. Who remembers the dua Musa makes when he comes in Madian? Alayhi salam. رَبِّ إِنِّي لِمَا أَنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَقِيرٍ. Oh Allah, I need you. Just whatever you give me, I need you. That's إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. What does Ibrahim alayhi salam say when he's inside the fire? حَسْبِيَ اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. That's إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Oh Allah, I need you. I'm stuck. Where will I go? What does Yusuf alayhi salam say in the well and Yunus alayhi salam say in the whale? لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت إياك نعبد سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين إياك نستعين. You will see the same formula repeated again and again and again. It is the acknowledgement that I have no objective, no interest in nothing, in nobody except Allah, and that I need Him, I depend on Him, I'm helpless without Him. And if you really digested this, your whole life would change. Ibn al-Qayyim then mentions something interesting. He says the real journey, the real path is the path of the soul. from the day Allah created the soul and announced, "Am I not your Lord?" until the day the soul will return to Allah. The real journey is the journey of the soul. However, the journey of the soul can feel very lonely because the vast majority of people are not living the life of the soul, they are living the life of the body. The vast majority of people are eating, sleeping, reproducing, akramakumullah, defecating. That's their life, the life of animals. It's a physical life, it's all about the body. There's no acknowledgement, no approach, no attempt to fulfill anything greater, anything deeper than that. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, when he talks about this, he says, the vast majority of people are living the life of animals. And so sometimes when you're trying to feed the soul, you feel very lonely. I'll give you an example. One day you meet up with a bunch of your friends. You're in your late 20s, you're in your 30s. Your friends have progressed in their careers. One's talking about buying a house, the other one's talking about cryptocurrency, the third one's talking about the football match they watched last week, the fourth one's talking about the movie that they want to watch on the weekend. Everyone is obsessed with some worldly desire they want to fulfill, or some kind of progression they've been sold is a kind of progression, and you're sat there thinking, I don't have a house, I don't have a car, I haven't progressed materially, I don't have a fancy this or a fancy that, but I just finished Surah Al-Ahqaf last week, and these guys don't know the buzz that gives me. You feel alone because you're on a different journey. You are on a very different journey, the journey of the soul. And this is why Ibn Qayyim says, when Allah says, "Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim," oh Allah, guide us to this journey of the soul. Guide us not to be obsessed with the material world and the body, but guide us to the journey of the soul. When you feel lonely, you then say, صِرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ, the path that all those people you blessed, they are all on. There's loads of people on the same path as me. Even if I don't see them, I'm not alone. And that's why Ibn Qayyim says, one of the therapies of Surah Al-Fatiha is removing your feeling of loneliness by making you realize you may feel lonely on this path of the soul. You may be saying no to your friends, no to your colleagues, no to so many things, and instead prioritizing the Quran, prioritizing the worship of Allah, and you feel so lonely on this path. He says, don't worry, you are not alone. Do you know how many prophets have walked your path? Do you know how many righteous people have walked your path? They too felt alone, but they were with Allah, and so He rid them of their loneliness. The first station on this journey to Allah is what Ibn Qayyim calls the spiritual awakening, al-yaqadha. Many of us have experienced this feeling before. Those of us who converted to Islam, your first year post-conversion, and those of us who discovered Islam after being brought up culturally or being distant from Allah, not knowing anything about this religion, there is a moment in which you feel, today I am alive, I just realized why I'm here on this earth. This moment, this exact precise moment, Ibn Qayyim calls al-yaqadha. This is the true awakening. You know what that means? The day you realize why you're here and where you're going, today your life began. Today is the day your life began, not before. Ibn Qayyim says that the vast majority of people on this planet are fast asleep. تَحْسَبُهُمْ إِقَاظًا وَهُمْ رُقُودٌ. You think they're awake, but they're fast asleep. The idea is this: the vast majority of people that we live and work and have befriended in our lives, the vast majority of them are living their lives like zombies. The moment they wake up, they check their smartphone, and before they sleep, they're doom scrolling. But despite all that information and all those videos and all those maybe even reminders that they're watching and Quran they're listening to, they feel empty inside. It's people who use distraction as a coping tool. Whenever they feel something, anything, fear, sad, love, loneliness, whatever they feel, they use distraction of some kind. Many of us can relate to some of these feelings. Some of us realize that we are one of those dead people inside. We are spiritually dead. And now the question is, how do you wake up if you are spiritually asleep? Many people, they have this question when my iman is low, I feel like my iman is lacking, something is off. How do I refresh my iman? You can answer both questions by understanding this point. How do you, somebody who is heedless of Allah, distant from Allah, constantly distracted, overstimulated, empty inside, the salah has nothing, how do you awaken this person? To wake up the heart of a human being, you have to have two things. You have to have two realizations. If you don't have these two realizations, you will forever remain in the darkness of distraction and emptiness and sadness, melancholy, and you will be on drugs and you will be in prison and you will be tortured in this life until two things make you realize you have to wake up. The first is realizing the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah deserves my praise. He deserves my attention. He deserves my worship. What He has given me, I can never count. I put my hand on my chest and I feel my heart beating and the blood pumping through my veins. I could not count the number of blood cells He created in me. How can I ignore Him? كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم. How could you turn away from Allah and you are dead and He raised you to life? قل أفي الله شك فاطر السماوات والأرض فالق الحب والنوى. Allah, how He describes Himself, His blessings, His in'am, His beauty, the beauty of what He gave us. If we don't realize how indebted we are to Allah, you will forever remain sleeping in the depths of distraction and emptiness. That's why Al-Fatiha begins with Alhamd. Now, if you have realized the blessings of Allah, that's just the first step. There's a second step, is you have to realize how many shortcomings you have and how far you are from fulfilling and being thankful and being grateful to Allah. And so the second part of waking up, once we have realized how much Allah has done for us, is feeling al-haya'u min Allah, feeling ashamed, feeling the shortcoming. And if you want to understand what does it mean to feel ashamed in front of Allah, you have to see and reflect on this moment. One day the Prophet ﷺ is standing and praying, and he's crying in his salah, and the water is dripping from his beard like someone poured a bucket over his head. And after he finishes his salah, he's asked by his wife Aisha radiallahu anha, why is it that you are praying till your feet swell and till your beard is dripping? وَقَدْ غُفِرَ لَكَ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِن ذَنْبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. And Allah has forgiven your past and your future sins. And He says, أَفَلَا أَكُونَ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. How can I not be a grateful slave? That much to pray till my feet are swollen, and to pray till my tears have wet my beard, because I just want to say thank you to Allah. And I know even after I say thank you, I have still fallen short in front of Him. To feel shame from Allah is the same feeling that Nuh alayhi salam felt when his son drowned and he stood there asking Allah, قَالَ رَبِّ إِنَّ بَنِي مِنْ أَهْلِي وَإِنَّ وَعْدَكَ الْحَقِّ. Oh Allah, my son is from my family and your promise is true. He was so shy, he couldn't even ask Allah to save his son or to forgive him. To feel shy in front of Allah is what Allah describes in the Quran when He says, وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْتُونَ مَا آتَوا وَقُلُوبُهum وَجِلَةٌ أَنَّهُمْ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ رَاجِعُونَ. People who worship Allah, but when they put forward their worship to Allah, they are trembling. We don't know, will Allah accept it from me? To feel ashamed in front of Allah is to stand like Ibrahim alayhi salam, building the house of Allah, but to stand there and say, رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Oh Allah, please accept the deed. I don't know if you will accept it from me. To be ashamed in front of Allah is the feeling that Umar ibn Khattab feels when he runs to Hudhayfah ibn al-Yaman, who just got informed by the Prophet the secret list of munafiqun, of hypocrites. And Umar says, don't tell me who's on the list, but please tell me, am I on the list? Because I don't think I've done enough. When you experience this feeling, you will have truly woken up on this day. And every day before this day, you were dead. Because the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, مَثَلُ الَّذِي يَذْكُرُ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِي لَا يَذْكُرُ اللَّهَ كَمَثَلِ الْحَيِّ وَالْمَيِّتِ. The example of the one who remembers Allah and the one who doesn't remember Allah is like the difference between the living and the dead.